and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Imperium, your video guide to your Imperium subscription. My name is Peachy.
And I'm Louise, and we're here to help you take your first steps into the universe of Warhammer 40,000.
Warhammer 40,000 is the incredible hobby where you collect, build and paint stunning models representing mighty heroes, deadly warriors and thundering vehicles, and play awesome tactical battle games with them on the tabletop.
Through your Imperium collection, you'll build up two opposing armies. The dauntless forces of the Imperium of Mankind, made up of the indomitable Space Marines, zealous Sisters of Battle, and technologically advanced Adeptus Mechanicus.
And the terrifying Necrons, ancient aliens in bodies of living metal who seek to annihilate all of humanity and reclaim their ancient empire. You'll also get all the paints you need to turn your plastic hordes into beautifully detailed armies and loads of scenery to battle over in your games.
Over the next few weeks, we'll be bringing you 5 videos to help you start your collection. Follow along with us as we build our models, play our first games with them, and learn the basics of painting. I'll be defending the Imperium with the Space Marines.
And I'll be carving a path of destruction across the galaxy with the sinister Necrons. In your first 5 issues of Imperium, you'll get 3 units for your Necron army, and I'll be showing you how to put them together and paint them, starting with the Royal Warden from issue 1.
Likewise, you'll get 3 units of Space Marines, one of which is a powerful Primaris Captain, a model that is new to the Imperium collection. And I'll be taking you through building and painting those, beginning with a Primaris Lieutenant. Through all these videos, we'll use guides from your Imperium magazine, so make sure you have them handy while you watch, along with your models and tools.
We'll also be playing games in each video using the battle mat and dice you got with issue 1. My Necrons will crush your Space Marines.
Well, Peachy, they can try. The last part of your Imperium magazine is a comprehensive guide to the galaxy of the 41st millennium and the warriors who battle within it. Let's take a look at that now.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Humanity's Imperium, ruled by the immortal God Emperor, is beset on all sides by alien enemies, traitorous heretics, and monstrous demons from beyond reality.
Standing against these many foes are the Imperium's armies, the soldiers and tanks of the Astra Militarum, the cyborg warriors of the Adeptus Mechanicus, the religious fanatics of the Adeptus Sororitas, and the superhuman Space Marines.
You'll find out more about the Imperium and its enemies in future issues of your magazine. For now, we'll focus on the forces of the Space Marines and the Necrons.
The Space Marines are humanity's foremost defenders, genetically engineered to be perfect warriors. They are armed with the mightiest weapons the Imperium can forge and clad in nigh impenetrable power armor. In your magazine, you'll learn more about the Space Marines and get your first look at some of the many chapters into which they are organized. Brotherhoods of warriors, each with their own culture, rituals, and methods of waging war. You'll also find a special focus on your new Primaris Lieutenant, including a battle record you can use to name him and record his heroic deeds across the games you play.
There's also an introduction to the Necrons where you'll discover how they survived their near extinction of their race and came to awaken 60 million years later in living metal bodies. There's also a profile of the Royal Warden, the other model that comes in with issue 1, along with a battle record for this undying commander.
There'll be information about the worlds and inhabitants of the Warhammer 40,000 universe like this in every issue of Imperium, and we'll be looking at some more of it in our next video.
But for now, it's time to find out how to build our models.
Let's start with the Primaris Lieutenant. You'll have noticed that your model comes in multiple parts, attached to plastic frames, and we call these sprues. Before you can wage war with your models, you'll need to clip the models off these and build them. The best way to do this is with a pair of modeling clippers. If you've subscribed to Warhammer 40,000 Imperium, you will get a set of these clippers as one of your subscription gifts. To use your clippers, hold them like this, with your fingers on one arm and your thumb on the other. To cut a component from the sprue, place the flat side of the clippers against the component and gently but firmly squeeze the clippers shut like this. Be careful with the clippers as they're sharp. Always cut away from yourself and keep the blade away from your fingers. Your Primaris Lieutenant comes in multiple parts, including the base he stands on, which is the larger of the 2 bases that came in issue 1. Each component is numbered on the sprue from 1 to 10. Start by clipping out the parts and keeping them together. A shallow dish is ideal for this. When you're cutting out your components, make sure to get the flat edge of the clippers as close to the model as possible so you don't leave plastic tabs attached. But be careful not to remove this peg on the foot. You need it to make sure the model stands on its base. Likewise, the peg attached to the head will hold the head in place as well. So, with all the components for our Primaris Lieutenant clipped off the frame, let's build our first model. You'll find a step-by-step guide for this in the build section of your magazine, so let's follow that. We'll start by getting the head, component 1, in place with the back of the body, component 3. Slot the head into place and grab component 2, the front of the body. Line up the connecting pegs with the holes as shown in your magazine, and with some gentle, steady pressure, push the two pieces together until they're flush. Now we attach the arms, backpack and scabbard sword at the Primaris Lieutenant's side. For each of these, line up the peg with the appropriate hole and push them in. Make sure to attach the sword before the shield arm. For the shield arm, slot the shield into place before attaching the arm to the body. Your Primaris Lieutenant is nearly done. Next up is to slot component 9, his tilting shield, into place on the front of the model. And component 10, a piece of base decoration, into one of the holes on the model's base, as you can see in the magazine. Lastly, line up the peg on the model's foot and push it firmly into the remaining hole on the base. Congratulations! You've just built your first model. Have a quick look over it and make sure all the components are pushed together properly, not leaving any gaps. We'll look at how to start painting your Primaris Lieutenant in a future video, but for now, let's check in with Peachy to find out how to build your Necron's Royal Warden.
That Space Marine needs an enemy. Let's get our Royal Warden built. Like the Primaris Lieutenant, that comes on a plastic frame and is designed to be built quickly and easily. Some detailed parts of the Royal Warden are a little fragile and have lots of connections to the frame. Carefully clip away each of the plastic tabs connected to the parts, starting with the more fragile sections so they don't break when you clip off the rest of the component. Let's start with the body. Carefully line up the pegs and holes and apply gentle pressure to the surface directly behind the peg, where the plastic is strongest. Try not to apply pressure to thinner, fragile areas of plastic that are likely to bend. After that are the left arm and the spine. The arm should slot into place easily with the spine. Just apply gentle pressure like you did with the body parts. Now is the gun arm. Line up so the shoulder and left hand are in place against the body and left arm and gently press it into position. With that done, push the face into place and then the chest plate. That's the Royal Warden built, he just needs to go on his base. And that's your Necron built. You'll get a brush and your first paint along with issue 2, and we're looking at how to start painting the Royal Warden in our next video. For now, I can't wait to get it onto the battle mat and show that Space Marine who really rules the galaxy.
In games of Warhammer 40,000, the players are warlords commanding armies of citadel miniatures, which move, cast devastating psychic powers, shoot with mighty guns, and engage in brutal hand-to-hand combat. And this is all done with a set of easy-to-learn rules.
Games can be any size, from the game we'll play today with just a single model on each side, to huge clashes with hundreds of models.
Many games tell a story as the armies clash for control of vital objectives, to wreak havoc on their enemies, or to take revenge for earlier defeats. Over the course of your Imperium collection, you'll learn to play the games and use your various units in a wide range of exciting story-based missions.
This mission, First Contact, is designed to help you learn some of the basics of playing Warhammer 40,000. The Necron Royal Warden is trying to activate ancient repair nodes and awaken more of its kind. The Primaris Lieutenant is determined to stop him.
The mission in your magazine includes details of the story, including the background to the battle and a detailed mission briefing for both sides. Have a read of those and understand what you're fighting for.
To get started, we'll need a few more things that came with your first issue, including the data sheets in your magazine, which show all the details you'll need for your models as you play. You'll also need your battle mat.
This is the surface we'll play on, and it has two sides. We want the one with the letters marked A to E. This will be really useful as we play. You'll notice that the battle mat also has several counters printed on it. You'll need those as you play as well, so carefully cut them out before you start, then place the gaming mat on a flat surface like a kitchen table.
We'll also need the range ruler and dice. Don't worry about what these are for just yet, you'll find out soon. Place these and your counters to one side and get your models. I'll be using the Royal Warden.
And I'll be using my heroic Primaris Lieutenant. Warhammer 40,000 is a game for 2 or more players, and while you can learn to play by yourself, you'll have even more fun learning with a friend or a family member.
Once you've decided who's going to play with the Space Marine and who will use the Necron, set up the Primaris Lieutenant, Royal Warden, and 3 objective markers on the mat as shown in the diagram in your magazine.
In this mission, the objective markers represent stations where the Royal Warden can activate the repair nodes. He needs to reach these stations to try and activate them to win. The Primaris Lieutenant has to try and stop the Necron from succeeding, and the only way to do that is to kill him before he can activate the repair nodes. Both players will take turns moving and shooting with their model, and because the Royal Warden is determined to do his duty, the Necron player gets to go first in this mission.
Yes! In each of my turns, my Royal Warden can move and shoot at the Space Marine. Since my goal is to reach the repair node stations, I'm going to start by moving forwards towards Objective 1 in the corner of the battle mat.
To move, you'll need the range ruler, and you'll see it's marked in inches. To see how far your model can move, you'll need their data sheets from the magazine. Looking at the Royal Warden's data sheet, you'll see that he can move up to 5 inches.
To move him, I place the end of the range ruler touching his base, pointing in the direction I want to move him. He can move 5 inches, so I place him with the same part of his base touching the 5, then slide the ruler out.
Now the Royal Warden gets to shoot at my Primaris Lieutenant. You can see on his datasheet that he is armed with a relic Gauss blaster, which rolls 2 dice when it shoots, so grab 2 dice.
To hit the Primaris Lieutenant, I need to roll equal to or more than the BS, which stands for Ballistic Skill, on my model's datasheet.
The Royal Warden's BS is a 3+, so any dice that score a 3 or better get a hit.
To make my attacks, I roll 2 dice, and as Louise said, any 3s or better are successes, 1s and 2s are fails and don't hit. So we take those away. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Both dice rolled a 3 or more, so both shots hit. Remember that you can see this process in your magazine if you need a reminder.
Next, we need to see if the shots get through my Primaris Lieutenant's power armor and hurt him. For this, we need to make a save roll for each hit. Looking at the Primaris Lieutenant's datasheet, we can see that he has a save of 3+.
Rolling to save works the same way as rolling to hit. With a 3+ save, the Primaris Lieutenant needs to roll a 3 or better to avoid being hurt.
Oh, here we go. Yes, I managed to save one of the hits, but the other gets through and my Primaris Lieutenant loses a wound.
Looking at the datasheet, the Primaris Lieutenant has a wounds value of 5, meaning it will take 4 more hits like that to kill him. To show that he's taken 1 wound, we'll use one of the wound markers that came with the battle map.
I'll place the wound marker next to the model as a reminder and hope that I don't get any more.
That's the end of the Necron's turn. Now your Space Marine gets a chance to take revenge on the Royal Warden for wounding him. Or at least he can try anyway.
That's fight and talk, Peachy. Let's have a go. Like the Necron turn, my Primaris Lieutenant can move and then shoot. His move value is 6, so I can move him 6 inches. I'll try and get closer to where the Necron is going towards Objective 1.
Okay, now you've moved, I suppose you're going to shoot at my Royal Warden?
I suppose I am, Peachy. The Primaris Lieutenant has a Neovolkite pistol, which rolls 2 dice, just like your relic Gauss blaster, but he is a highly trained marksman, so he hits on a 2 or more.
Okay, so anything but a 1 will be a hit then?
Anything but a 1, Peachy. No, only one of my shots hit, and I hope that hurts your Royal Warden?
Let's find out. The Royal Warden has a save of 3+, so I need to roll a 3 or more.
Ha! Take that, alien scum! How many wounds can your Royal Warden take?
He has a wounds value of 4, so you have to do better than that. Now that you've moved and shot, it's back to my turn. First up, I move and get into contact with objective marker 1.
That means you can try to activate the repair nodes. Looking at the mission rules in the magazine, you need to roll a dice and score a 5 or more.
Wish me luck. Oh, unlucky. The station is broken, so I'll have to try again at another one.
Remove that objective marker from the battle mat as a reminder.
From this point, follow the steps in your magazine until one side wins the game. Congratulations, you've taken your first steps into playing Warhammer 40,000. You'll be doing more of that next time, and a lot more.
Yes, indeed. Next time, we'll be continuing what we started here by looking at the new lore from issue 2, which focuses on the Ultramarines chapters of the Space Marines and the Necrons of the ancient Zarekan dynasty.
You'll also get those reinforcements the Royal Warden just woke up, a trio of Necron warriors. We'll make a start on painting our models beginning with the Necrons.
And you'll use your new models in another game.
Make sure you don't miss an issue of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium by subscribing to the collection, as well as getting a delivery of 4 issues every month, packed with models, paints and more. You'll get loads of free gifts, starting with a handy modelling set.
You can find out how to subscribe at warhammer40000imperium.com. Head there now and take a look, and we'll see you soon for part 2 of our video series.
See you then.
Bye!